us discover passion, which leads to being calm. And I'm happy to be on here. So thanks for having me.
You are welcome. So tell me about it. Tell me about affirmations. What do you got? What does that mean to you?
I create decks of affirmations that are called Sweet-Ass Affirmations, Motivation for Your Maniac Creative Mind. And they are a spin on what you can do with affirmations, just a very small chunk that you can take out of creating affirmations and utilizing them for moving towards your visions and your goals. The thing with affirmations is a lot of people can look from the outside and say that doesn't work. Like just repeating it, it gets a woo kind of tag sometimes. And I can look at a lot of people's affirmations and tell you why they aren't working. And it really comes down to bringing in emotions and making yourself feel these affirmations that you're crafting, because when you're feeling something, you're moving towards training your brain to really be involved with wanting that to come to life. And when your brain is thinking about really wanting to manifest something, then it's going to consistently send you triggers to take actions to move towards those visions and those dreams. If you don't really care about it, then you're not going to feel it. So I can sit here and say, like, I have $1 million. Like, that feels resistant. I can point out 5 to 10 different reasons why that affirmation isn't a good affirmation to use. One, because I don't believe that I have that or that I'm close to having that, right? 2, because it doesn't have any like emotion tied to it. There's no passion tied to it. And you can take that same affirmation though, and you can twist it into something that actually works really well for you. Per se, at the end of the evaluation, it could be something like, I allow myself to receive more money. It feels good for me. It feels simple. Maybe it's because I'm scared that somebody else is going to want something from me if I have more money, or maybe I'm afraid I'm not good enough to have more money. But it starts with a simple step of like, hey, I allow myself to have more money. So you can take affirmations from really serious and deep to super silly and fun. And there's all sorts of ways that you can use them. I think for the purpose of our call tomorrow, we're going to do something about crafting effective affirmations for yourself in relation to your visions that you want to bring to life, and then what the hierarchy looks like to go from having those affirmations as a foundation and moving towards bringing them into reality, if that makes sense.
I forgot I was muted. Sorry. It does make sense. I wanted to see, first of all, I forgot to ask you in the pre-call if we could do a card reading. I thought that would be a cool thing for us to do. I have a few cards right in front of me because I actually, you can turn my screen around. I actually have them on the wall behind me.
The one on someone tagged us on the one on the left today on social media, the victory one. That's a funny card. Yeah, we definitely, we should do that. We can do that.
Before we do that though, I wanted to ask you if you could give me an example, and I know you have a billion of them, but an example of how you specifically used an affirmation and what the result was. I know you have a good example of one right now.
I do have a good example of one that just came. I have a lot of examples of them that come all the time, which is amazing. Something I really believe with affirmations is that you have to beat them into your head, and you have to really believe in wanting them. And it can't always, this will be a good example because it doesn't always come immediately, right? It doesn't always come next week or the week after. Sometimes it takes years to manifest something, and it takes a lot of thought and time to work towards that. So in 2017, I was in Nicaragua and I met this amazing girl. Her name's Holly. I was just actually swimming in waterfalls with her yesterday. She drove up from Southern California, and it was really cool because we both pulled in and we both have vans, like, conversion vans that we're working on. And in 2017, when we met, we made a pact of this vision that we wanted to have vans in the future. And she had her version of what she was thinking about doing, and I had mine. And a couple years went by and we didn't have those, but I have my vision board. I wish I could turn my camera and show it to you, but my thing's not really set up to do that right now. I have a van on my vision board, and every single day I look at that, and mostly everything on my vision board, I have an affirmation in relation to it. And I pick, pretty heavily what I'm working towards and honing and bringing in. And if I say something like, I am ecstatic to be able to travel from anywhere inside of my camper van, next to waterfalls and flourishing forests, while I work location independent, like that's a lot of stuff packed into an affirmation, but there's a lot of emotion in it. There's a lot of grit in it. And there's a lot of like, what does my overall core value of life look like in it? And so I've been looking and feeling and meditating on what that feels like for many years. And so it was really surreal to pull into this like waterfall area in this flourishing forest and meet up with Holly, with both of us having these new vans that we kind of brought together. And, that's a vision to reality. That's a giant thing that seemed really, really far away when we first talked about it, because I mean, ultimately, when I met her in 2017, I didn't even have the first affirmation deck out, right? So like, there was so many things to come from that point. I didn't have the business that is like my main business yet. I was working on some other stuff. And there were a lot of things that came in. There was a lot of great success. There was a lot of failure and shutting down businesses and losing all my money and things like that. And it's always very surreal and bittersweet when you really put your passion and your feelings into what you're doing, because it shows up. And when it shows up, it's like, oh, like this process does work. It's not woo, it's not bullshit. Like, I took actions that I needed to move towards having that van. And while it didn't come exactly how I thought in the beginning, there were a lot of different things that took place in between that I would have never foreseen. Breaking in relationships and bonding in relationships and changes in jobs and situations, all these roadblocks to overcome and all these cool projects to build up. But I keep looking over at the van because I still can't really believe it. Like, usually when something comes into life off my vision board, I'll take it off and put it into like this kind of manifestation folder that I have of things that have come to life. And there's a lot of stuff in there. So yeah, that's a recent example.
Yeah, I love, so mind-blowing. So you're wearing the t-shirt that I also have, because we met.
Oh, oh yeah, that's funny.
We met
Is that a
in Denver.
coinky-dink? I don't think so. I think that's
I'm not wearing it though. I wish I was wearing it. I'm not.
I know, but it's still a coincidence that we got that when we met, huh?
But we met in Denver in 2018, and I was so excited to connect with you there and then follow your journey with the domination deck. I handed it out to many people. I've bought, I think, about 4 or 5 decks at this point, and I passed them out to my VP of sales when I was at my corporate job. And when you're talking about these big things that seem like impossible, one of the things I kept thinking about was, I use your affirmation cards every day. I still use them. I don't use them as much as I really should, but I still use them. And I left my corporate job in December, and I became location independent. And then like changes happened, and all of that was what brought us to find calm here. And it was.
Can I interrupt? Can I make a comment on that?
Yeah.
So, why you don't use them as much as you should is because should doesn't exist there. When you actually start using affirmations, and like, you manifested this big stuff, right? Since I met you. And I've always been like really appreciative of all the sharing that you do. When that stuff becomes truth, you actually don't need the affirmations as much, because it transitions into something new. So those affirmations that were attached to that identity of wanting it to come true, now that you have all of that working, you don't need to be using them like so you really shouldn't be, right? Because you're making space for new things to come in. So that's very normal, and it's amazing to watch, actually.
Yeah. Well, I'm still going to try to use them, because I'm still human and struggle with things every day. So they always bring me joy.
They grow with you, right? Like, you can modify affirmations to grow with you into what you're doing. And there's a new deck coming out too, so you'll have new stuff.
I know. I can't wait for the new deck. I'm jealous. I want to be on pre-order for that. But I want to get back to we want to do a card reading, and then we're going to end our preview. Before we do the card reading though, if somebody was wondering, like, should I be participating on this call? Like, why should I show up? Like, what would be the number one? Is there one thing that you could say, like if you're interested in this, or is there anything you could say to like help people decide if it's something they want to be a part of tomorrow?
Well, if you have any desire to move towards a happier version of yourself, then it makes a lot of sense to show up. I believe that it'll attract the right people that come. If you have resistance to it, maybe you should come anyways, because resistance is in the middle. But
Ooh.
if you look up the definition of an affirmation, it comes with support, it comes with emotion, and it comes with bringing things to reality that were not there before, things that you want. If you've used affirmations before and they haven't worked for you, I'm going to show you how to do it effectively. And I think that that's something that most people don't know how to do, because it's more of just like, write a statement down and look at it. I'm going to show you how to put emotion into it and passion. And then I'm also going to show you how to use those on a daily basis to align them with your short-term visions and your long-term visions and your pretty much overall core values. And we're going to talk about how to craft a mantra, which is basically a paragraph or two that you can memorize and recite every day to help kick in your affirmations, but also kick in your vision and get your mind rolling to bring these things to life. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, if you want anything to come into your life that's not there yet, like, this makes total sense.
So then I feel like it's for pretty much anybody who has the time to stop in and say hello and participate with this, because I think it's going to be amazing. Do you want to read one of the cards, or do you want me to read one, or what would you like to do? Do you have a deck near you?
I do. I can grab it. Hold on.
Very cool.
I'm in the middle of.
You're back in Portland. You're in Portland.
Yeah, I'm in Portland, but I'm transitioning. So I'll be in Tennessee for the next 3 to 4 months.
Yeah, I heard on the podcast you're doing the full van life now.
Yeah, well, I have to work on the van first, so it's just.
Your base is going to be down there.
I'm hoping to make my base back in Oregon once the van's done, but for while I'm working on it, I'm going to be down there. Yeah. All right. I mean, we'll see which one we get here. Okay. So we have everything I desire is on its way to me at warp speed, which is funny because this is this is as affirmation as an affirmation can get. But ask the universe for water and your thirst will be quenched. You are a magnet of your own blessings. You know the essence of what you want and you earn it. You are a fish in the water, swimming in any direction that you choose. All visions that you support with your highest intentions will come to pass. Whatever you are reaching for in return is reaching for you. So be one with your calling. And this is a very mild PG card. There's lots of them that are mixed in that are a little bit more gritty, but it's a good one, I think, and it's perfect for this. So
very cool.
Yeah.
I am so grateful for you and wanting to be a part of Find Calm here. You've been super supportive, and I'm so excited for us to do this call tomorrow. I know I'm not going to ask you to do your usual exit that you do on the podcast. That would be awesome if you would just do that, but I know you probably can't do that right now. But
what's the exit? Is it? I don't even know what I do. Is it like
not the funny guy at the end? What's his name?
Todd.
Not Todd. I love Todd, by the way. That's my favorite part of I like when you don't do Todd. I'm like, oh, no, Todd.
Sometimes Todd's not there.
Just not there. I get it. No, I wasn't mean that. It was like the I'm blanking on it now, but the part that you go at the end.
Also, we might be giving a deck. We'll be giving a deck away tomorrow in the call. So come, you can share your affirmations and get entered to that, and I'll ship it to whoever wins.
That's very nice.
And yeah, it basically just, it's like a ta-ta.
Yes.
It's really the cap.
Well, very good.
There's some rapping too. So
you want to do a freestyle?
Maybe in the call tomorrow.
Maybe in the call tomorrow. All right. So preview, we might get to hear Heath freestyle tomorrow. Maybe.
Maybe.
But otherwise, it was great talking to you. I'm going to end our Facebook Live. But thank you all for joining. If you watched, I saw there was a couple people that watched. We had about 7 people watching right now. There's about 3 people live. So thanks for hanging on to with us. See you tomorrow, 7 p.m. To grab the Zoom link, you'll want to either on the Facebook, if you're watching this on Facebook, you can go on Find Calm Here's Facebook page. And there's a Find Calm Here event for affirmations. And that's where the Zoom call is on Facebook. If you're watching this on a different platform, you can go to findcalmhere.com. And on the main page is the link to Heath's event, the Find Calm with Affirmations, and you can grab the Zoom link there, or on the events tab. If you guys have any questions, you can post it in the community. If you're a member of the Find Calm Here community, Heath is also in there. And we will see you guys all tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern. You want to have any other points?
Or for the West Coasters, 5 p.m.
Yeah, 5 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern. No, is that right? No, it's 4 p.m. Pacific.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 4. Yeah. That's a good thing we cleared that up, because I have 5 written down.
4 p.m. Eastern. Be there or be square. All right.
Yeah.
I'll try to do your ta-ta.
Ta-ta. Cool.